Hey guys, Rob Cushing from the BetterClaim.com music blog here again with you. Hope you find this video series on getting the most out of your studio speakers of value. And if you do, if you don't, you have any feedback you'd like to give, you have any questions about what I talk about here, you have any questions about the business I do, I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so I have some contact information down below, okay, in the description, as well as the link to the blog series that I wrote in my blog some time ago on this. So this is kind of a companion video series, and you're welcome to follow along on the blog as well. Okay, so without any further ado, also stick through the end. I have a little bit of a bonus for you musicians. Okay, so if you listen close. All right. So in the first three parts, this is the last in a four-part series. Okay, the first three parts we talked about. Part one, speaker placement. Part two was reference tracks, and part three was acoustic treatments. Now we want to get into part four. Let's assume you've already gone through all that, right? So we're going to assume that you've been through the physical speaker placement in your studio. We're going to assume you've been through the reference track, the baseline, your audio output through, and we're going to assume that you've done something with placing acoustic treatments within the confines of your studio, right? So what if after all that it's still not enough, or you want to tweak it some more? You desire further room, for improvement, which you always should strive for, continuous improvement, right? Maybe perhaps your studio room's too small for like effective bass trap setup, or maybe in other situations the graphic equalizer that you may have set up for your studio audio output just doesn't conform to the physical space you have, no matter how much you tweak. Okay, so sometimes you run into that. Okay, and in those instances, after you've done all that previous stuff, it may be time to implement a software plugin for your studio. And it's one that deals specifically with room correction. Okay, in particular, I'm going to reference one particular plugin in particular that I just discovered, and it's starting to make a huge difference in my mixes. And it is called, and you don't need to write this down because I've got it referenced in the blog post, the link I have there. The name of the plugin is called the IK Multimedia Arc 2 plugin. It's a mouthful, I know. Okay, so I was already really familiar with IK Multimedia because I use Amplitude 3 a lot for my guitar effects and recording those, and I use a lot of their other varied plugins. So I knew IK Multimedia pretty well. Great company, great products, okay? But I hadn't really been made familiar with the ARC 2 until like just very recently. So ARC, which is ARC, stands for Advanced Room Correction, okay? And currently the second version of this plugin delivers, okay? It's available for Windows and Mac, and there's a lot of different DAWs, digital audio workstations that it'll work for, like Pro Tools. It'll work great with Logic Pro X, Cakewalk Sonar, all those. It'll work great. Okay. The plugin retails for about $299, about just under $300. Okay. So for purposes of this video, because I had the most familiarity with this digital audio workstation, I'm going to refer to the Pro Tools version. I mean, again, the other ones work great. I'm just speaking from my own preference, okay? So the ARC 2 plugin comes with a microphone, okay, which is what you're going to use for a reference recording device, right? Okay. This is really cool. In a nutshell, this is how it works, right? So once you've installed and configured your plugin, right, you select the tracks that you want to work with, okay? Then you insert the plugin on the master fader, not the tracks themselves. I had to learn this the hard way. So you don't insert the plugin on the track itself. You do it on a master fader, okay? Once you do that, you have the microphone, which should already be hooked up as well. You want to have that in like a prime listening point. It's basically like any area that you record a mix from, like so where you usually sit at your console, right? And here's the cool part, right? Once you engage the plugin and you start the playback, the microphone picks up the audio coming out of the speakers and it takes a good listen. So what it does, it listens to it, and then based on the configuration and the sound coming out of those speakers, and the way it's hearing them in your particular room, it then analyzes that sound configuration, and then it sets an optimal EQ configuration for your mix based on your configuration. That's pretty cool, right? And I'll tell you what, when I did that initial run and then I played back through the new optimized EQ curve, Oh my God, guys, it made a huge difference. I mean, the reason being is I was no longer hearing frequencies in my mix that weren't really there based on my physical setup, right? So what this plugin will do for you, this is how it helped me, okay? And I think it's going to help the same way for you. It's going to help to tighten up your bass, and it's going to help to make your mid and your high ranges stand out more. It was a huge time saver because I wasn't sitting there constantly having to tweak EQ and compression over and over again. Um, mm, One thing of note though, and I got to thank my buddy Graham Cochran over the recordingrevolution.com for this tip. Um, Take the actual Arc 2 effect out of your mix before you do your final mix down, okay? Um, as Graham said, you don't want the Arc 2 in your final mix. You only wanted to hear what you're mixing in your room beforehand, okay? So my recommendation is you need to pick this baby up, and you can order it from Guitar Center online. Um, Sam Ash or Musician's Friend. I think it's just like I said, it's about $299. And I actually have a way. I'll talk more about it, how you can get a further discount on that working with me to actually get cash back in any other musical gear that you order from places, like that and whatever. We'll get into that in a little bit, okay? So definitely pick that up, okay? One last bit of advice on this whole series, okay? That I've talked about speaker placement, I've talked about reference tracks, I've talked about acoustic treatment, and now the electronic, plug-in stuff. All right, one last bit of advice, okay? All the articles, all the videos in the series on getting the best studio output are tied together, okay? I did 4 of them because no one solution is it. You need to be sure that you're accounting for a good speaker placement setup. You need to be sure that you're getting good acoustic treatments. You need to be sure that you're referencing a good baseline reference track before you finalize your sound configuration with this plugin. So don't even start with this. You need to get those other 3 done first and then do this, okay? And if you travel often with your Pro Tools setup, as I do sometimes, you're going to need to tweak all these for every new space you're in, okay? Each one is different, okay? So just note that, okay? All right, so a few last things. Once again, thank you for tuning in on this video series, okay? A few last things, okay? Um, as always, I welcome any feedback. I've included my information below, contact information below, as well as a link to the original blog post I wrote about this and the rest of these series. So definitely if you have any feedback in this video, I want to hear from you. If you have any questions about the business I do and what the content in this video is. Speaking of the business I do, we actually got a brand new front-end automation system on this business I do, and this is the same business that has allowed me and 250,000 other people to have some awesome success with it, including like thousands of musicians, right? So this business I had is the iPass 2 system is a brand new front-end automation system, okay? And it absolutely, it's been live for like a few weeks now, and it absolutely just revolutionized what I already had going on with my online business, okay? So I want to let you know about that. So the link to get to that, if you want to check it out, is right below, and it's www.plugplayandlive.com. Alternately, you can also go to www.stepuponstage.com. So those 2 links again, plugplayandlive.com or stepuponstage.com. They'll take you to the same thing, okay? And a final thing I want to let you know, okay? Before people ask me why you're doing the business, so if you want to make music, here's why, okay? It has the potential to free up like your time, and it has the potential to secure an income, so that you can go out and do things like tour when you want, perform and record with it when you like, without having to worry about how you're gonna get funding for like additional instrument purchases, or not having to worry about setting up like a Kickstarter account because you want to fund an album. You don't need to. You wouldn't need to do that if you work this the right way, okay? And I do this, and if I could do this, I know you guys could do this, okay? I mean, you can even like do. You even have enough to like support your family on an income without the need for a job. I mean, again, I can't guarantee the same success as because I don't know you or your work ethic, and I don't know if you would take the action items on this and run with it. So, but if you want to check out the videos at www.plugplayandlive.com or stepuponstage.com. One last thing, I didn't make a reference real quick to either getting this IK Multimedia ARC 2 plugin for a cashback discount by going through me, or actually any other music gear that you want to get if you are ordering from places online that you're already ordering from, like Guitar Center, Sam Ash, Musician's Friend, the Apple Store, Mac Mall, anything like that. Get with me on that. Message me directly. We can talk more about it. Cool. Whenever I saved a bunch of money in music gear doing this too. So anyway, that's it. My name is, once again, is Rob Cushing from the BetterClaim.com music blog. I hope you found this information valuable. Love to hear from you in any sense of the word. So reach out to me. All right. Take care, guys. And thanks for watching this video series. Take care.